Merfolk Management. Once upon a time, there was an underground kingdom known as the Atlantis where all the mermaids and mermen lived. The Sea Lord was a lazy, incompetent ruler. Due to his poor management of his kingdom, he unknowingly drove away all talented and loyal merfolk from his government and replaced them with corrupt officials. Bribery was the norm. An oppressed, unappreciated yet extremely talented mermaid called Miranda heard a rumor that Princess Ariel, the daughter of the Sea Lord, had turned herself into a human with the help of a sea witch known as Ursula. Thus, she gathered her resolve and took a visit to that sea witch. Ursula struck a deal with Miranda, saying that she would transform her into a human for 3 days in exchange for her voice. If Miranda were to receive true love kiss within 3 days, she would forever live as a human. If not, she would turn back into a mermaid and be Ursula's slave forever. Miranda happily accepted the deal. Moments later, a merman came to Ursula to ask for the same deal. Ursula did not suspect a thing and offered him the same deal as Miranda. Then Miranda appeared and both she and the merman kissed. The seal was instantly broken. It turned out that they were already married way before. Ursula was extremely angry. "You tricked me." She wanted to kill that happy loving couple. Just then, thousands of mermaids and mermen came to their aid. They all had heard from Miranda about the possibility of turning into a human, and all of them were fed up with the heavy taxes imposed upon them by those corrupt officials. They threatened Ursula to relinquish her magic, or else. Since Ursula was outnumbered by 1,000 to 1, she gave up. Atlantis' immigration policy under the Sea Lord's rule were more or less non-existent, so the merfolk who were able to turn themselves into human went to live in other nations on the surface. 5 years had passed and the Sea Lord finally realized the population of the merfolk in his kingdom was shrinking for unknown reasons. And it took him another year to find out that his people were able to turn themselves into humans and live elsewhere. This enraged him, and without hesitation, the Sea Lord declared war against all nations on the surface. Needless to say, his kingdom run by an incompetent ruler and his corrupt officials were no match against other nations in terms of numbers and efficiency in military might. In the end, the Sea Lord was overthrown. Miranda now was a very rich and powerful woman in the nation where she and her husband migrated to, went to find Princess Ariel to be the new queen of Atlantis, while she herself became the kingdom's prime minister. And all the mermaids and mermen in Atlantis under the new rule lived happily ever after. The end. Magic Mirror. I'm sure you all have heard of the tale of Snow White, but what you don't know is that the wicked queen actually married another right after Snow White ran away. The king, however, was a puppet whom she dominated and abused all day and night. The king did not love her, but he married her because of her riches, and he found his queen to be quite crazy whenever she walked towards the mirror and said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the most fairest of them all?" And the fact that the mirror showed nothing but the queen herself made the king thought the mirror was an ordinary one. One day, the queen asked the mirror the same old question and the king happened to come by. He was shocked to see the mirror actually reveals an image of Snow White. It was soon after that he realized that the mirror was an intelligent artifact and he blamed himself for being so ignorant for all this time. The queen was obviously depressed by the mirror's revelation that she lost interest in royal affairs and no longer had the passion of beating the king up. All these were in fact good news for the king. From time to time, the king secretly asked the mirror questions like how to acquire more riches and how to expand his kingdom into an empire. Eventually, the king became an extremely knowledgeable person. When he heard the wicked queen had finally decided to kill Snow White, the king bribed the huntsman not to kill Snow White. When he heard the queen wanted to poison Snow White, the king suggested a potion that would turn the queen into an ugly old hag in disguise. He was surprised that the queen actually listened to his crazy idea because she normally would never listen to whatever he was saying, and he swapped the potion with a non-lethal one. When the king heard that his queen was killed by the 7 dwarfs, he was sad. Not really, for he had become the most powerful and richest man in the world, and he was going to marry Snow White.
Hey, remember to sign up for my website and get some free reviews.